Hello, you guys. This is I, Laszlo, from What We Do in the Shadows. Chilequiles, or if you prefer, just your simple, seductive vampire. Here to tell you Happy Halloween. Just kidding, guys, it's me, CoopNoop. I'm not actually a vampire. These are fake teeth, and they're probably gonna come out pretty soon. They're already jiggling quite a bit. Everything else, however, is real. The beard is real. I grew this out, so hope you guys like the costume. Anyways, guys, happy Halloween. This is my first true, real Halloween special. I'm wearing a costume, which I don't do incredibly often. If you didn't catch earlier, I'm Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows, an incredible show. My girlfriend was Naja, and nobody recognized us, but hey, at least we looked incredibly dashing. Anyways, guys, at the beginning of October, my girlfriend and I set out to find some bad, crappy Halloween movies. And I remember we were scrolling through, I think it was Amazon or Peacock or something, one of the two. And we just looked up like Halloween movies or something like that. And we found this entire list of like horrified versions of like childhood stories or childhood hymns and rhymes and things like that. So you had like a Cinderella one. You have, obviously there's like Winnie the Pooh. Those are a little bit different, but you've got Jack and Jill. You know, Jack and Jill fell down the hill and they're murdering people, I guess. And then we found Humpty Dumpty. And this definitely caught our eye because if you don't know the Humpty Dumpty rhyme, let me look it up. He's a big anthropomorphic egg, and it goes like this. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses, all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Kind of a story of like, I don't even know, a guy died or broke or something, I don't know, who cares? Anyways, yeah, we found a whole string of these movies based on kind of like English nursery rhymes, and we were really intrigued. So, of course, there's no way we're not clicking on this. I mean, what is that? What does that have to do with Humpty Dumpty? That's just a bald guy. That's just a bald guy with cuts on his face. That's not an egg. Anyways, we ended up finding, I would say, you know, and the title probably says, some of the most interesting low-budget horror movies I've ever seen in my life, and we're gonna get to that today. So we start off with this first one here, which is called The Curse of Humpty Dumpty. This is the first one, and I gotta say, I was expecting the absolute worst. We were expecting to just laugh the entire time, and for the movie to make no sense and just suck, and to be honest, it's not that bad. It's by no means a good movie. We're gonna get to that, but I will say I was pleasantly surprised with The Curse of Humpty Dumpty. So the opening scene here, it's very reminiscent of a lot of horror movies where, you know, it has anything to do with a doll or any type of doll-like figure. We meet this woman who created Humpty, I guess, or at the very least, she's putting him back together again, like in the nursery rhyme, and then she says this.
Hello there, Humpty.
We cut to a birthday party where we're introduced to the main character, Wendy, who's celebrating her birthday when she realizes all of a sudden everyone's gone. And I guess she's still holding the cake. So I guess everybody was sat around her while she got the cake, and instead of like cutting it or like blowing out the candles, they were just like, all right, bye. And they just left her there, sitting there holding the cake. What? Why did they leave?
Where did everybody go?
They left ages ago.
Turns out this is actually a sign that she's developing amnesia and is forgetting things more and more following some mysterious event that we keep flashing back to. And I have to say, she's actually a pretty good actress in the weight and emotion of finding out this kind of thing. Getting this life-changing diagnosis can actually be perceived very well. It's very palpable.
My grandmother had dementia, didn't she, Mum?
Did she?
And Wendy has two adult daughters who are both kind of dealing with this in a different way. The older sister's more protective, the younger sister's kind of like denying everything's going on and just is like, oh, let mom do her thing, she's not a baby. The older sibling decides what's best for her mom is to take her back to their old country home where I guess they grew up, and that's where her ex-husband went missing or something like that. And on the way, we get this very actually kind of scary scene of Wendy waking up in the car and forgetting where she is. I genuinely feel like this scene captures how scary that would be pretty well. Waking up in a situation where you have no memory of where you are or what you're doing, but you're just placed in this scenario has to be horrifying. And I feel like this movie does a pretty good job at showing. There's also this random guy that shows up. Now, what this has to do with a big, bald egg? I don't know. Who knows? I guess there's some loose connection between like a broken egg and like a broken mind, but an anthropomorphic egg that fell off a wall? I don't know. That being said, you know, there are some good parts about this movie, but it's not a great movie. It's pretty low budget. Some of the audio is pretty bad, but it doesn't detract from the movie that much. So when they get to the house, they meet Bill, who is the gardener, but Wendy doesn't remember him at all. He's gonna be an important character later. So the next day, Wendy wants to go to this store? I don't know. I don't know if you could qualify this as a store. Kind of just looks like a room with some things in it, but it's a store. And they look around for a bit. The sisters still arguing about what their mom can and can't do. And that's when Wendy notices this doll in the corner. What the fuck? What are these? What are these dolls? Fat demon clown and a bald, disgusting Humpty Dumpty egg doll with clothes on? Who is buying this? Of course, she wants it because apparently it was a gift from her late husband, and she kind of gets some flashbacks and some memories of that time that she doesn't remember. But Humpty is not for sale.
That one's not for sale.
Hang on. This is a shop, isn't it?
Is it? Anyways, the lady who built Humpty wants too much for Humpty, so they decide they're gonna come back the next day to see if they're gonna buy him or something. I don't know, it doesn't make sense. But when they leave, they go home, and somehow Humpty Dumpty beats them there. You can tell he ran really fast, of course, because his shoes are hanging off his socks, so he must have been really booking it there.
How did it get here before us?
Especially if you're driving.
Isn't there a more important question, actually? How did it get here before us?
You just asked that, actually. That was the first question? Hey, how'd he get here so fast? Better question, how did he get here so fast? Later at night, they play charades, and for some reason, Humpty's like there, I guess, and they get really excited about the answer that they get. And so Wendy just slams Humpty down, I guess? And now, Humpty Dumpty has had a great fall. So he's dead. And the movie ends. Just kidding, they say this.
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, I guess.
And then that night, I guess they just leave him in the hallway. That's where I would put my demon doll too, probably. And I love that this is just a Party City mask. Like, you can tell that in the beginning, she just like puts a mask over like a doll head, because then you can just put the mask on the actor. It's a lot easier that way. But yeah, I feel like I probably walked past this mask at Party City at least once. Humpty somehow appears in a different room and starts moving, surprisingly. Because, you know, he doesn't look like he would move or anything. And now, he's a 6 foot tall man. And he peers over Wendy sleeping, kind of becoming this new monstrous form. And she wakes up and he's gone. So now there's 2 Party City masks. We've got the bald, ugly one, and we've got this one with a big mouth. So pretty scary. The next day, Wendy re-meets her evil stepsister, the sister of her ex-husband, who's kind of looking to get the inheritance and deed and everything left behind by the husband. She sucks, so obviously she's gonna die.
In no time, your mind will deteriorate, no?
And the daughters try to keep her away from Wendy, but Wendy's kind of impressionable, so she ends up getting into the house and leading Wendy up to the attic, where assumably all the paperwork is left. Luckily though, she doesn't get anything, so instead she decides to sneak back later when Wendy isn't in the room anymore, and she trips over Humpty, which, you know, obviously terrifies her. A human-sized doll wearing clothes that looks like that, yeah, pretty scary. Later, the gardener comes back to give an exposition dump about Humpty, but he gets just a little nervous, so he stops before the important information.
You had a miscarriage, and that doll was what we... There's a bedroom upstairs.
But what we learn is apparently the youngest daughter was adopted, and it has something to do with Humpty, I guess. They mentioned the firstborn, but she's not the firstborn. The firstborn is the older sister. And they said that she had a miscarriage for the second kid, and but she already had a first child who's fully grown. So I'm not sure what the first child thing is, the firstborn is. I don't really understand how that works. I feel like that might have been a mistake. Later that night, the crazy sister of the ex-husband comes back and decides to break into the house. Nice, good idea. At this point, I mean, you deserve to die a little bit. You already tripped over a human-sized and terrifying doll, and you're going back. She walks past Humpty in the hall, goes up to the attic, and somehow he's up there because he's a demon, I guess. And of course she dies, but for some reason Humpty uses a plastic sheet, even though he's got a monster face with 1,000 teeth. But I don't know. I mean, I've never murdered anyone, so maybe that's a better way to do it, but it could also have something to do with the fact that the mask is rubber and the teeth are rubber, and so they just kind of flop around. So, anyways, eventually he does bite her in the neck and she dies. And while all of this is happening, Wendy wakes up in the middle of the night. She goes upstairs, she sees the scene, she freaks out, she calls the cops. They show up to the house and all of a sudden the body is gone because Humpty, he's an egg. I don't know. Also, the cop is just like super rude to her. It's incredibly mean.
I can understand that you have a condition, but we don't take lightly to wasting police time.
So at this point, rightfully so, her daughters think she's fully lost it. And it doesn't help that she's kind of frantically scribbling in a notebook and then later yells at her youngest daughter about how she's not her daughter. Yeah, it seems like, at this point of the movie, the egg has just about cracked. The shell has just about cracked. It seems the yolk has spilled. The pot of eggs has boiled over with eggs in it. Anyways, the older sister finds these drawings of Humpty online and somehow interprets the entire lore and backstory of Humpty.
Some kind of demonic spirit living inside a doll.
Turns out once Humpty has a big fall, the demon attacks. The demon comes out.
As soon as Humpty had a great fall, bad things would start to happen.
So the oldest daughter goes back to the shop of the lady who put Humpty back together again, and she is trying to get some answers, but the crazy lady just plays piano and laughs at her. Looks like Aggie's gonna stay. Look like Aggie gonna stay this time. Anyways, after being screamed at about the fact that she's adopted, the youngest daughter goes looking for her birth certificate, but instead finds a phone covered in blood. Of course, the phone of the evil stepmother. And while this is all happening, Wendy is being attacked by the ghost or the memory of her late husband, who I guess was abusive to her. And this scene is also kind of impactful. It's not the best, but I do feel like I can feel what they're going for here. I do think it's interesting that she's kind of reliving the memories as if she's going through them again, and that's kind of an interesting way of portraying your memories being all disheveled, like you're actually living it. You're a part of it. You're not just kind of like, oh, I remember this. I think that's kind of interesting, but it is ruined by this scene where we see Humpty and a bunch of these CGI dolls turn around and look at her. And it looks like shit. I don't know why they did this. I don't know why they decided to put a PNG of a doll on the movie, but, kind of just reminds you that this isn't a super high quality movie. But then Humpty stabs the youngest daughter because he doesn't have any type of built-in weapon on his head or anything, and he kills her right in front of Wendy. But Wendy's hallucinating, so she doesn't really know what's going on. She can't really help. She's kind of stuck in her own world right now, and she also doesn't really know what's real. We then learned that in the past, Wendy and her husband and the gardener had used Humpty in some type of ritual sacrifice.
You helped me, didn't you?
I guess of the firstborn, because she had a miscarriage of her secondborn, but they mentioned the firstborn, but her firstborn daughter is alive, but I don't know, it doesn't really make the most sense. It doesn't matter that much, but they used Humpty as a form of sacrifice, I guess, and it led her to murder her husband. So, yeah. At the climax of the movie, the gardener shows back up to the house, seeing Humpty in the window, and tries to go rescue Wendy, but it's too late. She's fully whipped her eggs, white and fluffy. She's fully scrambled. She's fully sunny side. She's lost it at this point. She keeps remembering her past and effectively reliving it, which is actually pretty scary, I will say. It's ruined by, the big stupid Humpty Dumpty mask, but it could be interesting on its own. She's led to the pool where she finds a memory of herself having murdered her husband, with Humpty laying there right next to him. It's an interesting scene on its own, kind of a good wrap up of all the events. She's kind of piecing together her traumatic past, and it's a little bit scary, but of course, don't forget about the evil anthropomorphic egg that's killing everyone. So Humpty kills the gardener after an incredibly long stare down. Wendy reveals what she did to her daughter, but her daughter doesn't believe her, so she leads her to where the ex-husband is supposed to be killed because she killed her ex-husband, but instead they find the younger daughter's body. So the older daughter flips out, thinks her mom's insane, runs inside, gets killed by Humpty. Everybody's killed by Humpty. And the movie ends with Wendy humming the Humpty Dumpty lullaby and caressing the corpses of her loved ones. Then she stares down into the camera, and that's it. That's the whole movie. It's about an hour and 30 long. Kind of not bad, not good at all, but it has some redeeming factors, I would say. The doll is ridiculous and not scary at all, and the fact that any of this happened in this movie, or that any of the good stuff was placed into a movie about Humpty Dumpty is ridiculous, and it makes it pretty dumb. The storyline of dementia could be very interesting, and I see what they wanted to do with the split mind, but it's just in the wrong movie. I mean, we don't need Humpty Dumpty here, I don't think. With a better budget and a better villain, or at the very least maybe a scarier mask, this could have been a little bit of a good movie, maybe, potentially. Maybe if Humpty was a little bit more paranormal rather than just like a doll, you know, so they could fit more into this kind of what's real and what's not storyline, that could be pretty good. Maybe not a kid's story about an anthropomorphic egg, though. The Cult of Humpty Dumpty. Now, this is Humpty Dumpty 2. This is actually technically called The Curse of Humpty Dumpty 2, but it's also known as The Cult of Humpty Dumpty. Now, this movie is horrible. This movie is really, really bad. Like, really, really, really bad. Bad acting, bad script, horrible sound. And I swear to God, it was recorded in 1 or 2 days maximum. This time we open up on this group of, I think they're supposed to be high school girls, but they're being held at some type of summer school environmental camp that is set up for bad kids who are not doing well in school. And for some reason, Humpty's there. Not sure why. After watching it 2 times, I still don't really know why he's there. He just is. So we start with another scene about Humpty being sewn together by a blonde woman, just like the first one, who we will not see again because she caresses what is definitely not a Party City mask and dies. And doesn't matter, has pretty much nothing to do with the rest of the movie. We cut to the group of girls spending their first night at this environmental camp partying, which is why they're there, because they're so good at school. And that's why they're at school.
Your aptitude for studying. You're all so very good at studying.
They have their phones taken, so they're completely stranded in the case that, I don't know, something like an anthropomorphic egg appears or something like that. And this is obviously horrible for these high school girls who are teenagers because they use their phones all the time. And so they say this. What was that? Oh, the captions don't even know what they said? Cool, that's nice. Anyways, they head over to the main building of this compound, which seems to be just some person's property. Somebody who worked on this movie's backyard or junkyard. I don't know. I guess this is the best spot they could find to film a junkyard. You know, just like in the Humpty Dumpty story. Here we meet the coordinator of this environmental camp, Steve, who has a bit of a hold on the teacher, Miss Harity.
It's like music. It's beautiful. I know.
He claims that with the children's help, they can save the world.
To save the universe.
Oh, the universe. Oh, okay. Damn. Sure. He also introduces this character, Cody, who's like the young assistant, and I guess the girls are super into him. Oh, Cody. Oh, hell yeah. Anyways, Cody leads this main girl to her caravan and gives her a special key, which I think is supposed to be important later, but it ends up just not really being. And I think Steve as a character is supposed to be like a nervous but sweet love interest, kind of like Wybie from Coraline. Instead, he's just kind of horrifying.
Lots of weirdos in a place like this.
Weirder than Steve? I think that's possible.
It's not just possible, it's probable.
This next scene is just an absolute masterclass of film. I have no notes, so instead of telling, I'm just gonna show.
Oh, that's great. Where'd you get it? Worked in quite too hard. My parents are level 5 vegans, trust me, I've had worse. I live for you. I know, I love you, but you came to my house for dinner. It cannot be worse than Taco Tuesdays.
I love the way that she asks, "Nice salad, where'd you get it?" Only to be answered with,
Quite too hard.
and then somehow we're talking about her parents leaving. I genuinely have no clue what the fuck they're talking about here. And the captions don't either. I went back so many times to try to listen, but not even the captioner could figure out what the fuck they're saying. This entire scene is completely ruined because I don't know what they're trying to say. I don't know what substance was placed into this scene. Anyways, I guess it's time to eat. So they have dry salad with no dressing and green water, I guess? salad water, I guess? Or maybe it's wet salad because the other salad's dry. I don't know. And it turns out Cody just like has it under his arms. He's just like has it right there, just keeping it warm, just how I like it. There are so many times in this one scene where I cannot understand what they are saying.
But that's like actually really good.
And I feel so bad for the subtitler, or even worse, for the person who had to edit this movie, who was like, holy shit, all of these scenes are completely unusable and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm fucked, I guess, you know? Clearly they are fighting for their lives here, and this is by far not the worst example of this in this movie. Anyway, Steve comes by to give what I think is supposed to be a big monologue speech, but instead it ends up just kind of being about their poop and that they use their poop as fertilizer.
The more you shit, the more we eat. That's another one of our.
I think this is supposed to be funny. I can't really pick up on any tone for anything in this movie because there's no music. It's just bird sound effects and like ambient forest sounds. I don't know what I'm supposed to be feeling here. I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing or am I scared of the poop fertilizer? Am I scared of this?
The more you shit, the more we eat.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. He talks more about how they're gonna save the world somehow, and that's where Humpty comes in. How? Doesn't fucking matter.
Hi, they were having some breakfast. Guys. Oh my god. No. Turns
out this girl kept her phone somehow and makes the absolute most noise possible getting out of bed. And because we get all the audio of her creaking and getting out of bed, of course the speech audio is also great.
I need to use your Wi-Fi.
She goes around looking for a signal and ends up in this garage, the garage where Humpty was made. And the pizza people like hang up on her or something, so she decides, best course of action after failing to get pizza is to go, of course, take a shower. And so she leaves her phone there, sitting on top of her clothes, and that's when Humpty appears with his token shaky hands that he's always had since the first movie, and he takes a little selfie, and then he does this dance with the phone for a while. Oh, what are you doing, bro? Hey, yo, that's hella sus, bro. Anyway, Steve shows up and delivers this amazing line.
No phones allowed. They're bad for the environment.
And then Humpty does, this. Just rubs his soft teeth all over her neck. I guess that's how he kills people. I guess he drinks blood now. I guess he's like a vampire like me. Just like in the children's tale. Just kind of proving what I said in the first movie. This mask is just kind of flopping around here. Doesn't look super intimidating. Anyways, the next morning, the girls are wondering where their friend is. And Miss Harity is like, ooh? Oh, yeah, she went home.
Lisa?
Oh, mate. Oh, Lisa. Yes.
That's when it becomes increasingly obvious that every single line in this scene is redubbed.
And I'll be talking to Lena's parents when we get back.
Rena?
Lisa.
Lisa's parents.
The voices don't match up at all. Their hair is being blown back with extreme force by some mysterious, completely silent wind. Even the redubbed lines are almost impossible to hear.
Let's use money or something.
Excuse me?
Huh?
We don't believe in the capitalist system here. Obviously.
What? They're like whispering. My girlfriend and I were cracking up at these scenes. Did they have to re-record these lines at like 4 a.m. and there's 3 babies asleep next to them? Why are you whispering? And it's specifically these two. Just watch this scene.
Oh, please. I'm not wearing this shit. Do you think this goes with brunette?
I can't wear this. I can't wear this.
And also, every single sound effect you hear is added in because the audio was clearly completely unusable due to the crazy wind. And none of this works. Like, what's this?
Do you think this goes with brunette?
That's not what a shirt sounds like. They had their Foley artists working overtime on this movie, and I feel so bad. My theory is they had very, very, very little time to record this, and they did 1 or maybe 2 shots of each scene, and then that's all they had. And because it was windy on the day they chose to record, or the 2 days, maybe maximum that they chose to record, there's nothing they can really do. So I think in some scenes, they use those little strap-on mics. Problem is, they don't want it showing over the clothes, so they're putting it under the clothes, which makes it sound horrible. And the boom mic can only do so much when you have 50-mile-per-hour winds blowing everyone over.
Makeup will do as well. Please, that's not free, right?
You thought it was bad in that last scene? How about this scene? They're not even outside anymore, and the audio is almost just as bad.
Supporting the unpaid work is a pretty defining tenant. The sooner we get this done, the sooner we can get a happy reward, get back to work.
The only reward that I want is my bag. And that with Cody in it with me.
What? What are you saying? The entire scene is reliant on the conversation, the context, the communication between characters, and we have no clue what they're talking about. Why even include this? Why not just throw the whole thing out? If I saw this scene and I was editing this movie, I'm giving up on the whole movie. Later, Steve leads them on a meditation outside, and Cody just teleports there and then gets just a little bit too excited about it.
Nothing else matters.
Again, probably not the ideal shot to use in the final movie, but that would be, you know, if you got more than one shot for each scene, which I don't think they did. Anyways, all the girls like fall over except for the main girl, which means she's connected to Humpty somehow. I don't know, it doesn't matter. And that's when we get this flashback scene that I think is kind of distasteful, where the main girl was assaulted, and it's not really handled in the best way. It's kind of uncomfortable, so I'm not really gonna show it. It just doesn't fit in this movie. I can tell they were trying to do something kind of impactful like the last movie did with Amnesia, but it just does not work at all. And so of course the next day, Cody breaks in to the main girl's room, which is so endearing. And it turns out Steve needs them to go clean one of the other caravans. Actually, the caravan of the now dead friend. Anyways, they spend all day cleaning just the outside of this caravan, which I guess apparently stinks.
Stinks.
And then she's like, wait, I gotta clean the inside too? Oh, dang it!
We have to clean the inside as well.
But it's inside that she finds a note which points her to the phone of the dead friend. And she finds the selfie of Egbert on it, and of course flips out because that's so scary. It's really scary, mad. And when she runs out to find her friends, she finds one of them assaulting Cody in their caravan. And literally, I'm not gonna show this, he tries to run away, and she chases him down.
Cody! Where the fuck are you?
This is the scariest part of the entire movie. It's not even funny. Anyways, instead of Cody, she finds Eggman, and of course she dies. One thing I noticed from this scene is Humpty Dumpty is so small in this movie. In the last one, he's like a 6'3" man. And in this one, he's like 5'4" maximum. The next morning, of course, the girls are again like, hey, where's our other friend? And Miss Harity's like,
So...
oh yeah, she went to her parents. Only problem is, her parents are dead.
And she's with her parents now.
Parents are both dead.
Then that leads this girl with glasses to somehow do a lore drop. Somehow she has this leather journal that has all this information about Humpty, like this. See? It's a scribble. It's a drawing. That's the lore. There is no joke, literally nothing on some of these pages, not even a scribble. At most, there are some drawings of Humpty, but sometimes there's legitimately just nothing on the paper and she's pointing to it like, look here, it says Humpty Dumpty actually is evil on the inside.
Say it. According to the book, a creature, an evil god.
Look here, it says Humpty, look, it says Humpty actually needs human blood. Still don't believe? Need more proof? One of the girls has had enough, so she tries to leave and she hops onto this random four-wheeler.
Fuck's sake. One of these has got to work.
Ah, damn it! That should have worked! The abandoned four-wheeler should have started right up. And she hops into this car and she's like, bingo! A perfectly working car. Just a few spider webs and some missing parts, but it's bound to work when I try. Humpty attacks, but she actually escapes, only to be caught by Steve and then killed. Dang it. Those abandoned vehicles in this junkyard definitely should have started up. Now we're down to two girls. Anyways, so the mayor's almost there, and I guess, I forgot to mention this earlier, the mayor's coming, and I guess has something to do with Humpty Dumpty. It fucking does not matter. And when he and his assistant, I think, show up, they're talking about killing Humpty after they get some wish, and the main girl records this. Honestly, this does not matter at all. So she goes to Cody to try to get some answers from him, and he does a great job at lying.
What?
This thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
His character is so fucking weird. They're trying so hard to trick us into thinking that he's like a good guy or lovable or like the love interest, but he's clearly incredibly creepy this entire movie.
Look, I can help you. You just need to trust me.
And it doesn't help that the actor is clearly not taking this movie seriously, like, at all. And, you know, I don't blame him. We get yet another flashback of the main girl, and it turns out that she was pregnant, assumably from the assault before, which will be important later, I guess. The other girl is murdered, unsurprisingly.
Isla, good, you're awake. I need you to come with me.
Why?
It's your friend, Amelia. She needs you.
What's happened to Amelia?
Nothing.
What happened to my friend? Why does she need me? Huh? Oh, nothing. She's good. Anyways, she's led to about 3 people in super scary costumes standing around a fire.
Welcome!
And Humpty kills her with his, you know, token floppy teeth. He flops them all over her, drags them all over her face, which is good. Oh, God, get it out of her mouth! Get it out of her mouth! Oh! So the main girl at this point's looking for her final friend, but instead she finds Miss Harity in her caravan.
Where's Isla?
Who's that? I don't know who you're talking about.
Who's that? My friend. My friend. Shit. Damn. I forgot. She's then taken by Steve to meet the mayor, I guess. I don't really know who this is. I guess he's in on it. And they begin the process of trying to sacrifice her. Because it turns out Humpty Dumpty needs innocent blood, of course, to grant your wish. And they're gonna heal the world with the wish. That's why it's an environmental camp. It all makes sense when you really think about it.
Should we inspect her, sir? Just to make sure? Just to make sure?
Should you do what? Oh, God. Oh, why is he licking his lips?
No need for that. We'll be seeing plenty of that later.
What? What the fuck are they talking about? So they knock her out and then put her back in her caravan. And when she wakes up, she finds a map and a key left by Cody. Turns out to be a trap. Who could have guessed? And she finds all her friends in a pile, blinking. And completely clean of blood that they had, you know, smeared and rubbed all over them earlier by the floppy teeth. What a surprise. Cody's not a good guy.
I tried to warn you. Or was it Twit Q? So easy to confuse the two.
You're probably thinking, why didn't they just kill her earlier? But I guess they needed her to willingly show up. Why? I don't know. I guess it was in the book. I guess Humpty needs consent, which is good, I guess. And in a crazy twist that no one could have ever seen coming, Steve kills Cody, who is actually his firstborn son with Miss Harity. What the fuck?
We love you, baby.
Very much.
We love you, baby, so much. RIP. Rest in peace. Oh, there goes my tooth. I'm gonna take out the other one too. It doesn't want to come out. I guess we have one vampire tooth. Anyway, so they tie the main girl back up and they feed her a drink of life or something, which is just a dry spoon, which is cool. But at the last second, if you remember, the main girl was pregnant and she got an abortion just weeks ago, a firstborn sacrifice.
Well, I already killed mine. Did it weeks ago. Kill them. Kill them all.
So she controls Humpty to kill them all. And they just like, let him do it, I guess. No, wait, Humpty, please. No, oh, no. So I guess abortion saved the day? Humpty Loki pro-life? Yo! Anyways, everyone dies, and then she's like, wait, I don't control you anymore, so she runs, and then at the end, she's like, she ends up stabbing Humpty, and we think he's dead, but of course he's not dead, but we get this ending with a banger line.
Have a great fall.
Oh! Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yes. This one is a crazy fun watch, I have to say. It is so bad. So bad. It's a short movie. I think it's an hour and 15 minutes long, and both times I watched it, I had fun. I swear I find more to laugh at every time I see it, and editing this up, I'm sure I'm gonna find even more. I implore you to please, if you're gonna watch any of these, please watch this one. Get some friends together, get your loved ones together, and just sit down and make fun of this, because it has so much that I couldn't even cover. The performances are so over the top, and yet at the same time, completely underwhelming. And the script is absolutely insane. 10 out of 10 Halloween watch. The madness of Humpty Dumpty. The final The third in this trilogy of horrifying movies. Gotta say, guys, this one is really pretty boring. It has some interesting concepts, and I would definitely say it improves a lot on a lot of the things that the last one failed on. It carries a bit more of the tone of the original movie. It definitely tries to play off of that as much as it can, even using the same opening. It just doesn't have much to entertainment value, I guess. So after the intro, we see this random woman casting some type of spell to get her son back and to punish the girl who killed him. And somehow this has something to do with Humpty Dumpty. Again, he's just kind of here. I don't know why.
Is this how I will find him?
Bring back to me the son for which I weep.
But in this movie, it features a young couple moving back to the childhood home of the main character, Bailey, who is developing schizophrenia much like her mother, similar to the dementia concept of the first one.
It's still in its early stages, it's treatable. They know more now than they did back then, and you're taking pills unlike your mom had.
And just like the first one, they get to the house and they're met at the house by the gardener, but it kind of plays out a bit differently than the first one.
Oh, so sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to frighten you.
This guy is so adorable.
Bailey owns the property.
Well, I'll be damned. Bailey!
Yeah, his acting's bad, but you can just tell he's so happy to be on screen, and that's all that matters.
Just imagine having a condition which causes you to hear, see, or feel things that aren't real.
I'm not sure if he's like the director or like a family friend or something, but I really enjoyed his part in this movie. The acting otherwise, not horrible. The audio quality isn't great, but it's not horrible. The editing isn't amazing, but it's not horrible. Nothing really sticks out like the last one. I would say the one thing that can be a bit comical at times is the set design, like this styrofoam headstone and the tiny grave covered by fake foliage. Budget is obviously low, so can't really get mad at them for that. Again, unfortunately, this movie kind of just falls flat most of the time. There are funny parts, of course. It's definitely not a horrible watch, but it's just not as fun to watch to make up for its lack of substance. There is this scene where the camera gets so close to Bailey's face, I couldn't help but to chuckle just a little bit, but otherwise the camera work in this movie is much better than the last one. Anyways, the boyfriend, Tom, is insisting that they move to this country home so that she can, deal with her mental illness and he can work on his novel, which is very important. He mentions many times.
Think it'll help you write?
Well, it's isolated.
But as soon as they get to the house, Bailey starts to have more episodes. Things seem to be getting worse. And she wants to instantly leave, but the boyfriend's like, no, hold on, here's a necklace and nothing bad will ever happen to you.
Think of it as a lifeline. Nothing bad will happen to you whilst you wear it.
Then he gets a call from his crazy ex, who will be important later, who he refuses to block.
I don't believe in blocking. She'll get bored eventually and just stop. Why do you think I named her Crazy Ex?
Oh, never mind. He just doesn't believe in blocking. It doesn't exist. Later that night, the cops are called on the house because it's been vacant for so long that the only neighbor is worried someone broke in. And the male cop ends up giving Bailey the craziest look ever, which is one of the most horrifying scenes in this movie.
Our neighbor know there's all just a misunderstanding.
This makes Bailey kind of freak out a little bit, but the whole time her boyfriend's like, no, you're just being crazy. Here's your medicine. But they don't quite look the way she remembered them looking.
I thought they were capsules. These are tablets.
That's what I got given by Dr. King.
She wakes up later in the night hearing noises and goes upstairs to find Humpty. And once she finds him and unveils him, it makes like a sleigh bell sound. So I guess he's a Christmas demon, Christmas egg demon, eggnog demon. Yo. And apparently Humpty was her best friend as a child.
He was my best friend when I was a child.
Which, like an imaginary friend? I'm sorry. That was your best friend? What the fuck was wrong with you? The next day, instead of blocking his ex-girlfriend after getting a bunch of calls, the boyfriend just locks his phone into a cabinet, which is incredibly smart to do.
No distractions. No drama.
He takes the rest of the day to write his novel. This leaves Bailey to her own devices where she decides to paint and hears a noise outside or something. When she comes back, she ends up finding this painted on her canvas. Oh no! And it's red, like blood. Ah! Again, Bailey and her boyfriend argue about wanting to leave the house, but he can't leave because of his novel.
I need to stay here for my novel, but I have to stay here for my novel.
But they make up and she takes a walk.
Be good while I'm gone, okay?
Be good while I'm gone, Humpty, okay? No cracking. I want you walking on eggshells while I'm gone. Because you're an egg. On her walk, she comes across this woman grieving her son's tiny above-ground coffin, and this camera zooms really close into their faces. But it turns out this is the mother of one of Bailey's childhood friends, who ended up dying 25 years ago. And Bailey ends up hallucinating a little bit the old lady screaming about her, about her son, and about how it's Bailey's fault that her son died. So she storms out and runs home disheveled. This scene is actually a little bit scary. I can't lie. This old lady is a little bit terrifying.
From the little bitch you once were. Shut the fuck up, you little bitch!
And when she runs home, this music plays that's supposed to be like a scary, ominous, like drone, but instead it just sounds like a crazy wet fart.
Hey, wait!
And the way the camera creeps around the corner just makes me imagine some guy standing there recording just shitting his fucking brains out. But when Bailey runs home, the old lady is approached by Humpty, who she swears is her deceased kid, Henry. Henry? You look exactly the same as I remember you. You look just like your dad. So Bailey's still freaking out, and she goes to find her boyfriend, who I guess is just standing right behind the door waiting for her.
What's going on?
And they argue again, but then his ex shows up, having received a sexy text from the boyfriend, which is impossible because the phones were locked away in a cabinet.
There he is, my Tommy baby. I knew you'd come around.
What the f are you doing
They go to find the phones, which are broken, and I guess also Christmas phones? Not sure what the sleigh bells are for in this movie.
If you're still here by the time I come back downstairs, I'll fucking kill you.
God damn! Alright, man. What the fuck? So even after having her life threatened, the ex just stays in the house while Bailey and the boyfriend are arguing upstairs, and she decides to go to this room where, of course, Humpty finds her and kills her.
Ain't you an ugly little fella?
He hits her one time with a bat on the side, and she just dies. She just fucking dies. Turns out the kid who died long ago, Henry, was basically jealous of Bailey's friendship with Humpty, the fucking doll.
He made that decision.
But if I hadn't wanted to be with Humpty more than Henry, none of this
You can't think like
and
that.
so much so, he committed, like a 6-year-old kid, jumped off a cliff because of Bailey's friendship with a fucking masked doll. This is crazy dark, and it just doesn't work at all. It's not scary, it's not sad, it's straight up just fucked up and weird. I really just don't know what to tell you. That night, Humpty gets super close to kissing Bailey's boob, which is a good shot. She wakes up scared, so she goes around and finds her boyfriend's novel, which is just a title. Bailey's mental illness takes a turn for the worse. Whoa, riveting. That's all you wrote? He has spent 2 in-movie days writing his novel. He kept going on and on and on about writing his novel. My novel! And not even one sentence yet. Bruh. Not even your name or like the date, just a little underlined title centered on the screen, like SpongeBob writing an essay. She also finds this comical to-do list of all the evil things her boyfriend has or plans to do, which is like, why do you even need that? Some of this stuff he already did, and he's just leaving incriminating evidence for her to find. It's not like he locked the room or anything either. He just like left it out on the table. Anyways, he finds her and knocks her out with a hammer I guess he already just had on hand, and that's when the movie gets kind of interesting. And we're about 50 minutes into a 1 hour and 15-minute movie. Turns out the whole time this boyfriend has planned this event to make her go insane by switching out her pills with placebos and moving Humpty around the house, and basically just abusing her. For a book. Because he's a shit writer.
I kept getting told that my shit wasn't real enough and that I should write what I know. Well, I know you.
What? You only write what you know. So, logical answer, abuse my girlfriend. Hey, I know my girlfriend, and I certainly know how to abuse her. So I'll just write about that. Who the f would read that? Anyways, the boyfriend has Bailey tied up, but then the weird cop from earlier shows back up, and he's like, wait, no, turns out I want to kill Bailey.
My son jumped off a cliff because this f***ing bitch liked playing with a f***ing doll more than she liked playing with my son.
And this is because he's the dad of the dead kid who took his own life because Bailey was friends with the doll, and of course he blames this on Bailey. This all makes Perfect sense. And right before he kills both of them, the cop hears something upstairs and goes to investigate, finding the ex-girlfriend, who is now dead, and while he's doing that, the boyfriend escapes, only to, again, try to get Bailey killed.
You enjoy hell.
Oh, what the fuck? Why'd he do that? Who told him to do that? As all of this is happening, all this hectic shit, the gardener shows back up, finally, the best character of this movie, and he saves Bailey's life.
What in the world?
I might have killed someone tonight.
Killed someone?
Killed someone? His delivery is so good. He's so sweet. I just know it. But of course, you know, he's a sweet character, so he's gonna die. So the cop tries to kill the boyfriend when Egghead reveals himself with the, you know, token sleigh bells, and the cop is like, yes, my boy, my son.
Henry? My sweet, sweet boy.
You haven't changed a bit, my little Henry. You look just like Papa. The boyfriend then dies to a baseball bat to the neck, I guess? He's bleeding on the chin, but it looked like it stabbed him through the neck with like the blunt part of the baseball bat, so I don't know. So the main girl and the gardener run out to the car, but it won't start, and we get this riveting scene.
Car won't start. How can I have been so foolish? I should have said something. I should have told you he was in...
Such passion, such fear, such intensity. I love how he just lets himself get pulled right out of the car. Brilliant. Bailey runs to the grave of the dead boy, which is conveniently, you know, above ground and covered in just 3 or 4 pieces of grass. She grabs a bone from it and she kills Humpty Dumpty with this bone glow. I don't know what it is, but yay! Movie over, right? Wrong. Humpty wakes back up, grabs a bone, and stabs her with his own bone glow. And then she switches souls with Humpty, or I guess Henry, the evil soul that's within the egg doll, taking over her life, and we get this chilling final scene.
Bailey's your best friend. She won't let anything happen to you.
Yeah, this one's pretty boring, not gonna lie. It definitely tried a lot harder than the second one. It tried to pick back up on the tone of the first one, but the first one wasn't so good that redoing it or doing something similar could make a good movie. You know, it was just surprisingly better than you expected. This one is surprisingly not as bad as you'd expect, but just boring. Again, it's weird and unfortunate that they attached Humpty Dumpty and a stupid mask to a movie that may have potentially had something going for it on its own, but, you know, overall, not that entertaining. The second one, very entertaining. The first one, better than you'd expect. I'd probably rate this one like a 4 out of 10, maybe like a 3.8. I don't know. It's not unwatchable. Anyways, guys, those are the Humpty Dumpty movies. Those are all 3 of them. I've watched all 3 of them multiple times, and I have to watch them more to edit this. So I hope you guys enjoyed my Halloween special and my Laszlo costume. Anyways, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you have a happy Halloween. I hope you have a great weekend, and if you liked the video, please leave a like, leave a comment, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/CoopNoop20. All my patrons get their name at the end of the video and the video a day early, but $10 patrons get their name even bigger, and I'm gonna say it, so let's do that. I want to say thank you so much to Jamie H, Tyler XP, Cal, Asia, Ethan T, Reggie Rodolfo, Melissa Cruz, Dot, Casey and Summer respectively, Cablu, Liv Doom, Seafoam Gray, Keely 8008, Bray, Ives, Alex Zink, Speep, Fern, Destiny, Farrell Perry, and Sir Swipey. Guys, thank you so much for being $10 patrons. You're the best. Anyways, bye.